If you remember what happened last time, we got visited by a shadowy ghost. Oh, alright, I'll show the chapter function. Let's go to the main menu. So, if you do click on new game, it gives you a little chapter thing. There's 1 or 2. That's a nice feature. I like that. I like it when mods do this. This is very useful. So I was like, this is a good thing to have. Let me load my progress. A nice thing to have. I'm definitely going to consider adding it to our mod, since our mod is also planning to be in chapters. I'm considering, I wanted to figure out how to do like a chapter layout thing, so I'm glad. It's nice to know that it's like this mod and Fruits has shown me that it is possible to do that, and that's very useful. But yeah. So yeah, last time we got visited by a shadowy ghost man. And he was telling us about, I think he was telling us he was telling us basically, he's saying he's judging us. Why do you say won't judge? Although I will not judge. Sorry. He'll be watching us. He's a stalker. So basically, he's not helpful at all. He's a fucking creep. But yeah, that's what we learned. Draniel Wow 2 donated $2. If you thought that one Datsuki was a problem, Zero, just wait. There's gonna be 2 Datsukis? I didn't know he learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu. An ancient technique. Thank you for the $2, I appreciate it. Alright, let us proceed. Archimedes Labs. I never knew the name of the damn laboratory. It was always just the lab to me. But the day Joshua brought us down there, he revealed its official title. Archimedes Labs. Just like the entity it told me, I can't decide if it was real or not still. Maybe it was just a coincidence. Maybe I heard the name in passing and subconsciously buried it. The lab turned out to be under another part of the facility that we hadn't seen yet either, referred to as the Institution. Apparently, that was where we would be spending most of our time. The first day Joshua's brought us down to the labs, we'd been taken to the main research center in order to meet the main staff. Before we post you, Rainer and I wanted to introduce you to the head staff on the project. He slides a card through the keypad and the metal's door slides open. Inside, we find a bunch of busy people in lab coats, hustling and bustling around the area. Joshua leads us through them in order to find 2 individuals in particular at the other end of the lab. Both are middle-aged men working away. One, who is slightly taller and with thinner framed glasses than the other, is reading some notes. The other works diligently on a nearby computer. He looks familiar. As we approach, the taller doctor thinly smiles at Joshua. Dr. Shirai? Oh my god! There is another dad that they've cloned! What a twist! They've cloned. No, they can't clone. They don't look the same. This is Datsuki from another dimension. It all makes sense. That's the canon Datsuki of this mod. I figured. By giving him the name that Summer Hope gave him, I figured he was the canon Datsuki. That's the Summer Hope Datsuki I mentioned. That's cool. I mean, he was one of my favorite Datsukis, so I'm glad that Summer Hope Datsuki's here. He was the one who was kind of an asshole, but you know what? He at least knew he was an asshole and tried to redeem himself. Mr. Holton, to what do I owe the pleasure? Joshua nods to us and introduces us. I've brought them, Dr. Shirai. Meet Fireteam Talon. Talon, meet Dr. Shirai. Ah, of course, the so-called super soldiers. The doctor says this with obvious arrogance in his tone. Definitely seems like a real prick. I already don't like this guy, and I convey it through a stone-faced expression. Yikes. He just can't catch a break. Ah, Dr. Zakhive. Thanks for taking time to join us. I take notice of the approach of the other doctor, who appears much more disheveled and disorderly in comparison to the neat and tidy Shirai. Still, I automatically like this guy more. I've learned to be a semi-good judge of character. I also finally recall he's the guy from the October incident video we watched. I extend my hand towards him, and he shakes it. Lieutenant Preacher. Oh wait, I have to give him the Russian accent again. Dr. Abram Zakaev, it's a pleasure to meet you, gentlemen. I cannot do a Russian accent right now. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, definitely a Russian accent. Thanks, Preacher. I tried my best. See, guys, Preacher says it was good. You guys can't say it's bad now. Preacher said it was good. Anyway, I just wanted to come by and introduce them since they're new and you'll probably be working together quite a bit. Gentlemen, if you'll follow me. We turned to follow, but I glanced back just one more time. I can't quite understand why, but I just felt like I had to. Dr. Zakaev watches us intently, almost sorrowfully, as we depart the lab. Oh no, he's sad. 1 month later. Alright guys, Rainer wants me to familiarize you with some of the more advanced equipment today. Don't worry, this is the last week of training. You guys have been great the past month, learning everything quick as hell. We'd been touring and familiarizing ourselves with the labs during the period of our training. Learning the layout and becoming familiar with the staff here was obviously important. We learned a lot over the past month. Correct tactics when engaging a psychic, proper containment procedures, the works. Oh wait, fuck! Why did I skip before I read that? Wait. Now Josh was getting us familiar with some of the new equipment we'll have. He holds out his hand towards us, showing some oval-shaped metal device. It's obviously a grenade of some sort, just not like any I've ever seen. This here is a psionic pulse grenade, developed after the October incident I showed you guys. Definitely handy. You press this button here and immediately throw it towards your target. You still want to clear yourself from the explosion, even though it's not a frag. It can still disorient you and make you nauseous as hell. I've seen dumbasses throw their guts up for minutes straight after not clearing themselves from the blast. Anyway, this will knock out her powers for a few seconds. Means she'll get them back and she'll be pissed after your time is up, so you gotta be quick. The whole week is full of learning about cool, handy equipment like this. At the end, all the skills we've learned are tested and evaluated by Joshua. Of course, we all pass with flying colors, and Joshua isn't surprised. Welcome to your first official day on the job, men, and I hope you're excited. Joshua's not so subtle sarcasm doesn't evade me, and my men don't seem quite so amused either. I think it's time that we take you on up to the institution. I've been curious to learn more about the so-called institution. My men and I have been trading theories and assumptions for the past month or so on the topic. Obviously, it contained these dangerous subjects, but the institution was an odd title for such a structure. Let's go then. Follow me, boys. Motioning his hand forward, he led us through the underground portion of the facility and towards a small part we hadn't been introduced to yet. We came to a metal door, identical to the ones littered around the underground complex, with a keypad. Above the door, the words Complex 9A Institution are legible. Joshua slides the key card through, and the door yields to reveal a stairwell leading up. We continue to follow Joshua as we climb the stairwell, which seems to go on and on forever. When we finally reach the top, I look down and see that it did wind for quite a long way. Can't even see the bottom. In front of us is another door that is much bulkier and seems more reinforced than the ones below. This door right here is pretty special. It requires a Class S security clearance, the highest you can get. Only a select few, including Mr. Rainer, myself, and of course you guys, have keycards equipped to the necessary clearance. Not Clarence. That's the guy downstairs. We don't talk about him. Slide the card, and the door opens to reveal what looks to be a decontamination chamber. Joshua motions for us to follow, and we do. As we enter, the door quickly shuts behind us, and the decontamination process begins, showering us in a mist of some sort. Once that is finished, and we are deemed decontaminated, the door in front of us opens. I wasn't really prepared for what was on the other side. It's a school. a fucking school. There are classrooms and nice halls and windows and students. Students bustling back and forth, carrying books and conversing. Some looked our way, but only in passing glances, as though our presence wasn't completely out of the ordinary. Somewhere off down the hall, bright pink hair catches my attention, before it disappears in the rest of the crowd. Welcome to the institution, gentlemen. It's a school? Yes, sir. Every single student you see here is a subject. Diablo says it's a classroom. Then, oh shit! I was joking. I didn't expect that to actually happen. I had a feeling it was gonna be a fucking school. I'm beyond confused. What the hell is going on? Our job is to patrol and guard a school? Joshua, what is this? Well, it's a simulated school environment. The lab below monitors all of this. This portion of the facility is staffed by teachers and equipped with a large cafeteria, bathrooms, even a contained outside area. But, they still know who holds the leash. Don't worry. All subjects, or students, are required to wear uniforms as well, as you can see. It's certainly not what we were— oh no, that's me. It's certainly not what we were expecting. What's the point of all this? Socializing them so they don't go insane. Exposing them to constant structure, seeing how they interact, learn, and adapt. At least, that's what the doctors tell me. I just handle security, man. At least he's honest. Christ on a bike, this place must cost a fortune to run. Sandman, and the rest of my team for that matter, look around in astonishment. This place was such a stark contrast to the rest of the facility, which was much more like a military scientific facility. This place looks as though it could actually be a prestigious civilian high school, like in the outside world. I think you forget that we are a very influential and connected organization, Sandman. I notice that there are also several other armed guards wandering the halls, though they are few and far between. The guards will be happy to have such experienced soldiers to assist them. I imagine so. Not that there's usually problems or anything, but we'd like to be prepared. If the psionic field goes down and the subject's powers happen to manifest, we're in deep shit. It's reassuring to have you guys here. I know Rainer feels the same. A non-acknowledgement. I don't really want to be here, babysitting a bunch of violent psychic kids. But it's not like I have much of a choice. A job's a job. So, I'm assuming we're getting another tour, huh? Joshua smiles and pats my shoulder. You assume correct, Lieutenant. Zombie sighs and rolls his eyes. Fantastic. And this is the boys' locker room. Obviously for student use when they finish with PE, the girls' one's next door to the left. Well, I guess you weren't kidding when you said this place had everything. Impressive, ain't it? Very. Alright then, if you boys are finished examining this pristine, glorious, and no doubt awe-inspiring lockers, let's go! Joshua swings open the door to the locker room, we immediately bump into someone, who promptly falls flat on their ass. Papers flap in all directions, and a startled "Wah!" erupts into the air. In the midst of the paper downpour, I can see messy coral pink hair complemented by a red bow. I knew it was Sayori. What the? Oh, it's you. Joshua stares this in a flat and unsurprised tone, which tells me he's familiar with whoever this is. See, even he's not familiar that it's even he's not surprised that it's Sayori. After all the paper debris clears, I finally see this mysterious klutz for myself. It's a girl, and her ocean blue eyes stare right up at us. She blushes and nervously laughs. Damn it, Sayori! What did I tell you about watching where you're going?
Sorry.
And then your blazer's unbuttoned again. I'll stretch my hand to help the girl. I'll stretch my hand to the girl to help her up. She looks up at me for a moment before laying her palm gently in mine, and I bring her to her feet. She gives a soft smile before bending down and starting to collect her papers, now strewn all over the hall. Get to class, Sayori. I don't want to remind you again. You certainly don't want me to either.
Yes, sir.
She replies nervously with her eyes down as she continues picking up papers. Come on, guys. We resume following Joshua, but as we start walking away from Sayori, I find a few papers drifted further away into our direct path. I pick them up and give them a quick glance. Huh, they're flyers from some sort of literature club. Apparently, that Sayori girl is the vice president. Pretty prestigious position for someone so clumsy. Other than her, there are only 3 other listed members: Monica, Natsuki, and Yuri. There's a ton of girly artistry packed onto this paper, so not really my thing. I return the flyers to Sayori, who is still gathering the other papers, which I assume are other flyers. She doesn't notice my advance until I offer the flyers from behind her, over her shoulder. She grabs them, looking up at me once more with a soft smile.
Thank you.
I nod before returning to Joshua and my team. Blue Demo says, Josh says, damn it, Sayori, just like Zero does. Damn it, Sayori! Sometimes you always just gotta damn it, sometimes you just always have to damn it, Sayori.
Damn it, Sayori.
Yeah, it's the usual. And here I was thinking you're just a tin soldier. Let's keep going. As you wish, your highness. Joshua does a mocking bow to compliment this before leading us down the hall. Suddenly, a question springs to mind. So, students have clubs and stuff here? Yeah, it honestly is not that much different than any other school. Save for, well, you know. Yeah. But yeah, Sayori's the vice president of one of the not-so-popular clubs here. Some kind of book club or something. I don't really keep up to date with all the extracurricular shit. That's what the eggheads downstairs are for. Fair enough. So where's the book club? I was just curious in all honesty. We'd swept through almost the entire school at this point, so I figured it would have had to be one of the classrooms I've already been to. Upstairs, where a lot of the third-year classes are. We went by it. They usually host it after school hours have ended. Where do they go after school hours? If they have testing to undergo it for any reason, they'll go down to the labs. If not, they often just stick to their dorms, which are in a wing connected to the institution. We've got some pretty advanced surveillance technology here. It ain't all too hard to keep an eye on them. Joshua continues to show us around the school, showing us more classrooms, the broom closet, and the cafeteria. Ooh, he showed us the broom closet? That's a highlight of the trip. Afterwards, he leaves us to take care of business on our own. Well, boys... Oh, no, that's me. Well, boys, this is it. Exciting, isn't it? I'm joking, of course. The school's almost entirely empty right now. All we have to do is walk around and pretend to be busy. Maybe stop in and occasionally check on a few of the after-school clubs. So, in lieu of this, we decided it might be better to split up and cover more ground, considering the institution is huge. We all go our separate ways, and I just choose a random direction to go. It's kind of eerie how quiet the halls are. It's something of a weird feeling, being all alone in the hall. That thought comes to a halt, however, when I run across that girl from earlier, Sayori. She's stapling some of the flyers to a bulletin board. I decide to approach her. Hi.
Ah!
She jumps. Apparently I startled her quite a bit. Her flyers fall to the ground again, but she is able to pick most of them up before I try to help. I grab the last one left and hand it to her. I guess I didn't introduce myself earlier. Lieutenant Preacher. I extend my hand towards her. She alternates looking at it, then back up at me, so the gesture is completely unknown to her or something. I think she expects me to yell at her. Instead of shaking my hand, she high-fives me and giggles.
That's such a weird name. So you're like a priest or something?
What? No, that's my actual name.
Oh, really? That's super unique.
Wait till you hear the others' names. I guess so.
You don't look like the other guards around here. You don't act like them either. You're actually talking to me.
What do you mean I don't look like the other guards here?
Your outfit. It looks more, I don't know, tactical and stuff. That's what Yuri would probably say.
Yuri? That name rings a faint bell, and I try to recall where I heard it from. Ah! The book club flyer! Hey, you're the vice president for that book club thing, aren't you? As soon as the words leave my mouth, she immediately brightens up even more, looking ecstatic.
Oh, you mean the literature club? It's so cool! You should come. We're actually having a meeting today.
I don't think...
One of our members even baked cupcakes today.
I hate to say it, but the mere mention of something sweet stopped me in my tracks. It had been forever since I had some good food, much less something sweet. I think about it for a second. I mean, going would absolutely not interfere with my duties. Quite the contrary, I'd be fulfilling them above and beyond by keeping an eye on the club. Whatever you need to say to really defend defend your option of going because you want cupcakes, buddy. Whatever excuse you need to come up with. We all know your real reason. Redworm. Zero, you need to go to you need to get the broom closet ending. You're right! I need to stand in the broom closet. I need the broom closet ending. Yeah, I'm doing my job by going... Shut the hell up, preacher. You know you're going for the cupcake. Exactly!
Yeah, totally. I'm totally making the nice decision of keeping an eye on all of the girls by going with them. Totally not because I want cupcakes or anything of that sort.
It's because I care about their safety.
I do, yeah. It's because I care about their safety. Nothing to do with cupcakes. Stop thinking it has to do with cupcakes. It has nothing to do with cupcakes.
The cupcakes could be poisonous!
Yeah, I have to taste test them. Just to make sure.
They could be dangerous. Cupcakes, huh?
Yeah, she's really good at baking. She can be a teensy-weensy bit mean sometimes, though. Just warning you.
Well, one cupcake couldn't hurt.
Great! Follow me, then!
Sayori begins to skip down the hall ahead of me, leading me towards the stairs that led to the upper floor. I decided it's wise to take a few seconds to radio my team. Talon Actual, come in. This is Preacher. Over. Go ahead, Preacher. Over. I'm heading to the upper floor to keep an eye on a gathering. That's where I'll be if you need me. Preacher over and out. By now, Sayori's reached the bottom of the stairs and turns back to stare at me.
You coming, Slowpoke? Hee.
Yeah, I'm right behind you. These are really dark stairs. Sayori leads me up the stairs to the section of the school used for the third-year classes, which was now, like the rest of the school, devoid of anyone. See, it's not a DDLC mod if they don't mention the fact that the club is in the section for third-year classes. I forgot. Someone called this out, and I realized, and ever since they did, I figured that out. Every mod, you have to mention that the club is in the third-year section, is in the section of the school that is made for third-year classes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
If you don't call it out, how am I supposed to know where the club is?
Yeah, how the fuck am I supposed to know where the club is? You don't even have to give me a room number. I'll know exactly where the fuck the club is.
It's one of those funny
You just tell me
cliches.
where in the school.
They just tell me where. It's one of those funny cliches. They'll always like it that it's there. You can't say you don't know where it is. It's in the section for third-year classes.
You kinda can say if you don't know where it is because
No, you
don't know
can't.
the room number. You don't know the room number though.
It doesn't matter. There's probably a poster that says like literature club.
Probably.
Though I do hear faint voices down the hall. As we get closer, I can tell they're coming from one of the open classrooms. Sayori turns to me, nods, and we walk through the entrance. As soon as we walk in, I see two girls sitting in chairs and a girl with a white bow standing at the front of the room talking to them.
Let's get everything
Sayori speaks up, interrupting the girl.
Hey everybody! I brought someone!
I make my entrance, and I find that all eyes are on me. The girl in the front of the room looks at me with curiosity in her emerald eyes. She can't hide the visibly stunned expression on her face. At the back of the classroom, a tall girl with violet hair and matching eyes gives me a quick, nervous glance. As soon as I notice her, she averts her eyes to the ground and buries her face behind the book spread up open in front of her. On the opposite side of the back of the classroom, a small and petite girl with bright pink hair scowls at me, and that's Sayori. Her small hands hold a tray full of cupcakes, frosted by the same shade of pink that colors her eyes and hair. Boy Trooper, well, this music seems off. Yeah, it seems a little weird but calm at the same time. Diablo, you brought a guard? Way to kill the atmosphere. You brought an armed guard, Sayori? Come on now.
I can't believe that you just killed the atmosphere of the club by bringing a man with a gun.
I can't believe you brought an armed guard to our literature club. For a while, the silence is suffocating. You could cut the tension with a knife if you wanted to. Then, the girl in the front of the classroom speaks up.
Hello, sir. Sayori, who is this you brought?
Monika's nervous and intimidated. It's in her voice and in her mannerisms.
This is Priest.
Priest? I let out a cough. Preacher, actually. Lieutenant Preacher. It's good to meet you all.
Well, I'm Monika, the president of the literature club. Welcome, Lieutenant.
You can call me Preacher. I only state my rank as a formality. Our conversation is halted when the short girl from the other side of the room interrupts. She's obviously angry, crossing her arms in an even more intense scowl than before. Oh god! Did I like kill Natsuki's parents? Why is she so mad at me?
Monika gave you a weird look when you came in too. What did you do?
But Monika gave like a nervous look. Natsuki is giving me like, I've never seen Natsuki that angry at just entering the club. Because you're a guard. Oh, I guess that's true. She's a rebel, huh? That's it, Natsuki.
No.
Don't make me get the taser.
Oh no! Don't do that.
She's looking feisty!
No, it's okay. She can't actually hurt you. She's too small.
That's what you think. I'm assuming this is the girl Sayori told me about.
Sayori, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sayori is, unfortunately, ignorant to her rage.
Sure, Natsuki.
Sayori happily walks over to Natsuki, and the two move into the closet at the back of the room. Sayori grabs a cupcake from the tray sitting on the desk right before they enter. Hushed whispers then start coming from the closet, but I can't make out what they're saying. Though I have a pretty good idea of what they're talking about. Meanwhile, the rest of the room is caught in an awkward silence for a few moments. Monika's the one who breaks it.
So, Preacher, what brings you to our humble little club?
Well, Sayori invited me to come and see what it's all about. She also, well, she said there might be cupcakes. I briefly smile, something I rarely do. My presence is already enough to make them uncomfortable. I don't want to dig the knife in further by appearing as an emotionless robot. Monika cocks her head to the side slightly, back to studying me, just for a moment. She then returns a smile.
Well, in any case, welcome. As I'm sure you could already tell, we're a fairly small club. It's nice to have someone new around, even if.
She stops herself from finishing her sentence. Even if I'm a guard?
Well.
Look, it's fine. I understand. I'm sure they aren't the nicest here. Natsuki and Sayori then emerge from the closet, that same angered expression still stuck on Natsuki's face. Her eyes land on me for a moment, and I can definitely feel the fury in them. Sayori, on the other hand, just looks a little flustered and embarrassed.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, sure.
Well, okay then. So, now that everyone's here, including our guest, I'd like to open up our discussion about the books you've been reading. Yuri, would you mind moving closer?
The girl in the back of the classroom peeks up from the top of her book, which she shuts and tucks under her arm. Without a single word, she stands to move closer to the rest of us. As soon as she gets up, I can see she's definitely the tallest of all of them, even taller than Monika. She's still a few inches shorter than me, though. Yuri takes a seat in the front row, and Monika continues.
So, as I said, I'd like to discuss what books we've all been reading lately.
From the corner of my eye, I see Sayori tense up a bit as Monika says this, and it isn't hard to guess why.
So, who would like to share first?
Like earlier, a dead and awkward silence falls over the room, and it looks as though nobody's willing to share. That is, until Yuri volunteers herself. Her eyes stay glued to the floor, but her soft and shy voice pipes up.
I suppose I could share. Okay then, Yuri, go ahead. So, my book is called Monarch. the title doesn't refer to a ruler, but instead the butterfly, which symbolizes quite a bit in the story. Essentially, it follows the tale of a Jewish family living in Nazi Germany. The young girl who serves as the protagonist loves nature and the outside world, but is taken away from everything she knows when both she and her family are taken to a concentration camp. She finds herself enduring horrible things at the hands of the Nazis. Atrocity after atrocity, she gets separated from her family and isn't even sure that they're alive. The only silver lining for her is that occasionally she's visited by a beautiful monarch butterfly. She admires the butterfly for its grace and beauty, but more importantly, for its freedom. It comes and goes as it pleases, without a worry in the world. She dreams of being free, just like that butterfly.
Yuri wraps up her description of the book, clearing her throat and holding the book to her chest, eyes now fixated on her desk.
Is there a happy ending? I'm not sure. I haven't read to the end yet. I hope it has a happy ending. That sounds like quite an interesting book, Yuri. Would anyone else like to go?
Ah! A sharp pain suddenly surges through my skull. It's enough to make me lean over and press my hand to my head. It stays for a second or two, until it begins to fade away.
Preacher, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just a small headache. I straighten up and everyone's staring at me, just as I assumed. I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, okay then. Would anyone care to share anything about their book?
Not really. Monica sighs.
Sayori? Yeah, about that. You haven't been reading, have you? Well, I've been meaning to. Well, I suppose that's okay. But please, can we try to read a bit more? Of course, Monica. I won't let you down.
Sayori compliments this with a salute, which just looks absolutely goofy. I'm reading. I just prefer not to share.
But, I mean, this is a literature club, Natsuki. You can't just not share. We won't judge you for it. We'd just like to know. My own novel is just about a girl growing up with her dog. It's nothing extravagant or anything.
Fine. I'll think about it.
That's all I ask. Well, I'd like if we all continued reading our books, but I'd also like if we could each write a poem tonight. Yay! I always love doing these! It's settled then. Go ahead and do some reading. Work on your poems too. We'll share them tomorrow.
After this, the rest of the girls disperse to different parts of the room. Monica then turns to me.
I don't suppose you could write a poem for tomorrow?
She giggles, but I think she's only half joking. Tomorrow, huh? I just wanted to come see the club. Besides, I'm afraid I have too many duties already. Writing never was my gig.
Oh, well that's okay. It was nice of you to come by. Stay as long as you like, and you're welcome back anytime, of course.
And that's why Monica's best girl. She's so welcoming. With that, she leaves me to go sit at the front of the classroom, behind the teacher's desk. She pulls out a piece of paper and begins to tap her lip, deep in thought. Looking around, I find the other girls have picked up various other activities. You're returning to the exact spot she was in earlier, nose buried back in her book. A very Yuri thing to do. Natsuki wandered off back into the closet for God knows what. A very Natsuki thing to do. Sayori's sitting at the desk on the left side of the room, messing with a few papers on her desk. And a very Sayori thing to do. I check my watch, finding I still have 6 hours to go on our shift before we're relieved. The other guys probably weren't doing anything super interesting either. Otherwise, they would have radioed. Thinking for a moment, I feel like it couldn't hurt to stick around for a little bit. I have nothing better to do. Still haven't got to grab the cupcake yet either. Aha! So I get to choose!
What a should I be? But don't take off my mask, revealing the